Always remember.
Hello everyone, we are here at Legacy Expo 2025, and I am here with legendary Star Wars author James Luceno. Thank you for being here, James, appreciate you. So you've obviously done various novels beyond Plagueis, which I think most people would say is your biggest and most famous novel, but you've done Dark Lord, part of that trilogy, Labryinth of Evil, but Plagueis was especially very unique territory, with it kind of being standalone and it kind of stretching over this period of time well before the Phantom Menace and tying into various projects within that time period, you know, Cloak of Deception, which you also wrote. When you were first approached to do the story, what was your reaction and what was that process getting into that like?
The approach was very simple. In fact, I was in Guatemala at the time. I'd just come out of the jungle where I'd been for 2 weeks, and I had a message, went to the hotel little internet station and saw that there was something from Lucasfilm, and it just said, Plagueis, with a question mark. And I was like, yes, I'll think through that. So that got the ball rolling. But there is a backstory to that in the sense that my first version of that was rejected by Lucasfilm. Yes, I was really confident in writing it because I had written 8 books previously. And I was like 100 pages into it and thinking this is going great. And then I heard back from Lucasfilm, we're rejecting your outline. You really have no understanding of the Sith.
Wow.
So that set me back. But I kept, I couldn't let it go. Couldn't let the project go. I was just, too in love with it already. And asked Lucasfilm for another sit down. And we worked through all the issues and got going on it.
Well, it's interesting you say that because now I think people would say, despite it being Legends, it's still such an influential novel that it is such a crux of how it describes the dark side and the Sith. So if you don't mind me asking, like what was your initial mindset and then what kind of changed in that process?
The only thing that changed is I was originally going to write the novel as a first-person novel. A fellow Star Wars contributor named Mike Stackpole had written a book called I, Jedi, and I thought, okay, well, I'll try I, Sith, but I wasn't going to title it that, but that was the idea. And that didn't work, that didn't float. And the character was a little bit different. He was more of a mathematical genius than the banker he becomes in the actual version. But my thinking didn't really change very much once I got going.
Quick orient switch, I get you. Well, kind of regarding that, since it was newer territory for you, what are the kind of characters that you gravitate towards writing? Like, what is something that you feel pulled to?
I think I'm more I'm more associated with evil characters now than good ones. But I actually don't like writing about Han or Leia.
Really?
Or Luke. Because they're too well defined.
Of course.
The notion of a character like Plagueis or Sidious just is an open canvas to me. And I can take that character into places that I'm not going to be able to take Luke.
Right. Is there now a newer affinity that you have towards that type of prose and aspects of the dark side of the Force that you like?
Even in my non-Star Wars books, I am drawn to ne'er-do-wells. Whether it's smugglers or assassins, I don't know why.
15 years later, Plagueis, I believe, released in 2010. Am I correct in saying that? What does it feel like, looking back on, we were at Legacy Expo, what is that legacy like for you? I mean, some would argue that it is the greatest Star Wars novel ever written. Obviously, that's up to subjectivity, but
it sure is.
It's my favorite.
I appreciate that. Well, in some ways, it feels like ancient history. I mean, I've been out of the franchise now for 10 years. But it's thrilling that people are still reading it, still appreciating it, even reading, the novels that preceded it. I'm blown away because most of the novels I write that are not Star Wars novels don't get that kind of attention.
I mean, that is the kind of the beauty and the curse of it being the Star Wars franchise. But
I always say that, when my wife sometimes says, introduces me as like a New York Times best-selling author, and I go, it's Star Wars that's the best-selling. It's not James Luceno that's the best-selling.
That is completely valid. I mean, did you have any idea how widely beloved that like all of your works in Star Wars would become?
No, in fact, I'm finding out a lot of things today that I never knew.
Really?
Yeah, some things have become memes on the internet, and I never knew that.
What?
Because I've never even reread one of my books.
Yeah.
Let alone, paid attention to like how well they were tracking or how popular they were.
Yeah.
So it's eye-opening. Nice as I age, as I go into very old age.
It's probably nice though to be here amidst fans and kind of have that,
Yeah, my two granddaughters were here earlier, and they were like, "Oh, Grandpa's actually somebody."
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. The amount of people that I posted our picture together that we took earlier, and the amount of people that DM'd me and they were like, "Oh my God, no way, no way!" So it is no small feat. You said you've been kind of out of Star Wars for 20 years because you did Catalyst and you did
Catalyst
Tarkin.
was my last novel.
Your last one,
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting because 10 years later we just kind of wrapped with Andor and some of the ties in there.
Yeah, I think there is some tie-in.
Yeah.
I mean. Certain things that were developed for Catalyst seem to have found their way into Andor in terms of the magnitude of the Death Star project and it being worked on in different places. Because my whole idea was to sort of make it like a Manhattan project.
Yeah, exactly. That's 1,000% what it is. I would ask you if you had to come back. No one is pressuring you, but if you had to come back, if you had a story or a character or a pitch, what would that idea be? What's something that maybe you've thought about?
What I wanted to do was I wanted to take Sidious as a first-person narrative all the way through the movies. Everything that happened in all the movies from his point of view. He was going to be the sole point of view character.
Yeah.
So that every reversal and every success could be seen through his eyes, and how he had to constantly be on his toes to change things. And I tried to pitch that, but they weren't interested, I think because they had some sense of where the third film in the new trilogy was going to end up. And with the resurrected Emperor, they didn't want to have something competing.
Right. Is there now kind of having that canon timeline, does that intrigue you even more to kind of have that full arc? I know.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, but I think, my idea for a novel wouldn't fly now, because there's been too many other novels that have covered that territory.
Yeah. Would you ever be interested in covering something with Palpatine between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, where Palpatine is kind of, we don't really know what he's doing. I think he's kind of rotting away in a vat, maybe. But maybe that's not the case.
That would have been really interesting to explore, but I don't think that would interest me now. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Move on to something else.
Of course.
Yeah.
Your friend and another legendary Star Wars author, Matthew Stover, is releasing his 20th anniversary annotated edition. Yeah. Only him, as of this October, and Timothy Zahn have gotten to do that for novels that they've done. In a handful of years, would you be interested in doing that for Plagueis?
I don't know how I would annotate it. I mean, I'd have to see what sorts of items they chose to annotate. The genesis of ideas. I mean, it might be interesting.
Yeah.
It might be interesting. I doubt I'll ever be asked, but it is an interesting idea.
Never say never. I personally, I would love to see
Well, that would be fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Last and most important question, this can be however you want to answer it. Why do you love Star Wars?
Long affiliation. I saw the film with my best friend at the time, Brian Daly, who I've collaborated with on a number of novels. I wasn't young like you guys. I saw the movie. I had just turned 30 years old. But because then Brian got to write the first 3 Han Solo novels, and I've just always had a relationship with Star Wars. So when I was finally asked to sort of come into the franchise with New Jedi Order, it was like, this was sort of destined. So so I have a continuing love for it.
Yeah. Well, that is an incredible answer. I think it's like I said earlier, there's a big legacy there, and you are a big part of that legacy. So from behalf of me and countless other Star Wars fans, thank you for your contribution.
I appreciate talking to you.
Yeah, and I appreciate talking to you as well. And may the Force be with you and with you.